Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2020 career mode here with Haas F1 Team. So here for the second race of the year in Vietnam. First race didn't go too well, but not too bad either. So we have some upgrades that are coming in for the Vietnamese Grand Prix, and I hope they're gonna give us some advantage towards the others. And let's just say jump into the race weekend. So here we are then, just before qualifying. But I've actually noticed something which is not that great. We actually, in the R&D tree, or in the R&D performance comparison, we actually fell behind Alfa Romeo. I mean, it's pretty close between us, but we fell behind them, which is not great. That was something I hope that wouldn't happen, but you know, it is what it is, and we'll just go into qualifying now. So here we are then, starting our first flying lap of the second qualifying session of the year here in Vietnam. The car felt better than in Bahrain. I had more confidence going into qualifying. You know, the car was not sliding around that much as in Bahrain, so I have high hopes for this qualifying session. As we lock up in the first two corners, which is not great, and now onto the back straight, which is actually a really long straight, but compared to the second straight that is coming after that, it's not that long actually. So we're gonna try to get the braking point perfect after the long straight brake, turn in, slight lock up, but that didn't cost us too much time as we jump to the twisty part of the lap, which is actually quite fun. You know, I said that the car is feeling way better this time than in Bahrain, so I had much confidence going into this twisty section of the track. You know, from the small S's, which is great fun to drive as we come now through the second to last corner. Brake, turn in, try to get on the power early, accelerate, but lift off the throttle just before the final corner, and now onto the throttle again, open the DRS across the line, and we're slowest of all drivers that went until now. But it's still the beginning, we have 2 more runs to go, so wait and see. So we'll just check how the others ranked up. So Grosjean is in P10, our teammate, we're in P11, but still, most of the grid didn't finish their lap times yet, but we're gonna jump into the second flying lap. So here to the start of the second flying lap, we're currently in P18, to the final corner, open the DRS, now through the long run towards turn 1, try to brake perfectly without a lockup. No, we still lock up on the front left, but didn't cost us too much time. We're actually faster than our time before. So we're green on the top right, as you can see. Brake, big lockup again. Now onto the throttle, onto the back straight, and open DRS. We're currently 2 tenths faster than our first flying lap, which is great. As top right, you can see 2 tenths up. We're green first sector, brake, turn in, and try to get into exit for the long straight. But we move to the last corner, just another swoop into the left, open DRS, and across the line. We've improved, we're in P16 now. And now with our final run to go, let's see what we can do and where we can rank up at the end of qualifying. So now starting our final flying lap of this qualifying session with about 30 seconds to go. I think with the last car that starts a flying lap. We try to make this lap perfect. Brake into turn 1, turn in, no lockup this time, great, but a bit iffy through the first corner. Then the second corner, get on the power earlier, but brake again, and it's almost impossible to not get a lockup in that corner. Then try to accelerate for the second long straight. I'll say we're currently down on our personal best time, as you can see on the top right, as we brake for the chicane, slight lockup, but didn't cost us too much time over the curbs. This is actually really hard to get a good exit, but we're trying to make the best out of it. Try to get a good exit. Yes, that was not bad. Onto the long back straight. We're currently still worse than our best lap time, as you can see on the top right, still red. Open DRS. And then for the just braking zone brake and into first gear. I think that's the only time you use first gear. Then accelerate, try to get the power down early. We're green, top right. And now into the final corner, turn in. We improved our lap time by almost 3/10 across the line. What's it gonna be? So here, qualifying done. Valtteri Bottas secures pole position for the Vietnamese Grand Prix ahead of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc in a strong P5, Ricciardo and Norris up there again. Vettel, Perez and Sainz round out the top 10. We are P17, and now let's look forward to the race.
The Formula One circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital. A number of the 23 corners take their inspiration from other great circuits, hopefully creating plenty of passing opportunities. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo and Norris, Vettel, Perez, Sainz and Esteban Ocon, Stroll, Verstappen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Grosjean, Raikkonen, the captain, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So here we are then on the grid for the 2020 Vietnamese Grand Prix. Just checking the right strategy, get the right fuel on board before we go into the second race of this shortened Formula One season in 2020 with Haas F1 Team. So we're going to try to build up the revs and wait for 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. We get a good start, but not as good as in Bahrain. So we're going to swoop to the left, try to brake maybe a bit early so we don't hit anyone, but we're still going to try dive down the inside on Daniel Kvyat as we hit Max Verstappen on the front right, with front right front wing as we go a bit wide. Yeah, you can see on the top collision with Max Verstappen as we go too wide and Romain Grosjean sticks his nose in there, but we're going to try and stick our nose in there and get past Daniel Kvyat up into P14 after the first few corners. But he's maybe going to try to get back on us. Does he have enough speed? No. We secure the place and stay in front of him in P14, but the cars bunch up so much that we have to lock up and hit the brakes so we don't hit Max Verstappen at the back. Now we're going to try to gain maybe on Max Verstappen this long straight. Had a good exit there. It's actually quite hard to get a good exit after that corner. So we're actually gaining on Max Verstappen quite massive. Yes, we get out a bit wide. No, I think we're too far back to try to make a move as we brake. Oh, we brake way too late. We're gonna lock up on both tires, but thankfully don't hit anyone. Well, it says we hit Max Verstappen, but I didn't feel a hit. But we braked way too late there, but thankfully no brake damage for us there. We are up into P12. So now to the middle part of lap 2, Daniel Kvyat actually managed to overtake Max Verstappen and is now the car behind us, and he's gaining on us, and maybe we're gonna enable overtake mode. But Daniel Kvyat is still behind us, but he can't really make a move. We're gonna cover the inside, break a bit later, push him wide a bit, but we go wide ourselves, and slippery out there, and try to get a good exit, but to stay in front of Daniel Kvyat, and yes, we stayed in front of Daniel Kvyat and secured or stay in P12 on lap 2 of this Vietnamese Grand Prix. And now onto lap 3, trying to get a good exit again out of this corner. Actually nailed the exits until now, so we had a good exit and able overtake mode, but we have to disable it again. But obviously Daniel Kvyat is going to have DRS now on us because it's lap 3 and he's getting massively on us. We're going to try to cover the inside brake. Thankfully the braking zone comes up, we lock up a bit on the front left, push him a bit wide, and we stay in P12. Actually, sorry, I made a mistake before. In P12 of this Vietnamese Grand Prix in lap 3, we set a green personal best sector 2. Try to get onto Lance Stroll now. But we're now in lap 5 and we didn't gain at all on Lance Stroll, but Daniel Kvyat is still gaining on us, and he's going to have DRS and he's just going to fly past us into P12, and we're down to P13 as we try to make something work in the braking zone, but no. We're too far behind. Daniel Kvyat overtakes us. We're into P13. I said before that I'm more comfortable with the car this weekend, but you know, the car still is the second worst car in ours since Alfa Romeo overtook us. The performance chart, we're gonna try to make the best out of it as we jump to the middle part, or the beginning of lap 6, as I tell my engineer to box this lap to try and undercut maybe the people in front of us, since actually my pit stop should have been in lap 7, but now ask my engineer to pit this lap to undercut the people in front and try to get in front of them. But I was actually made a mistake. That was Pierre Gasly that overtook us before and not Daniel Kvyat. I'm so sorry for that. Daniel Kvyat is still the car behind us, but he's getting massively, and us we're going to try and cover the inside, but he just flies past us, and there's Max Verstappen too. He's going to go down the inside. We have to brake early so we don't hit Kvyat, lock up on the front right, try to switch back, get a good exit, but no, the Red Bull's just too quick for us, and Daniel Kvyat and Max Verstappen pass us in lap 6 of this Vietnamese Grand Prix as we hit the brakes to try and not hit. Oh, that was close. As I said, now we're going to come into the pits for our one and only pit stop in this race, and if I've seen that correctly, Lando Norris comes into the pits with us, but obviously he's in front of us. Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi carry on, and George Russell and I think Latifi will carry on too. There is Lando Norris and Vettel and Ricciardo in the pits with us. So we're going to change onto the medium tire for our one and only pit stop. Well, that was not a quick fix of 3.2. That's actually slower than the pit stop in Bahrain. Not great. But anyway, now out of the pits, accelerate. Get out of the pit. We're obviously in last place now because, you know, we're behind Lando Norris, but all the other cars didn't pit yet. So, yeah. Gonna try to have a good outlap. But now, on our outlap, lap 7, there's yellow flags in front of us, and it is George Russell retiring from the race. You can see it just comes up there, and we get around him. He's probably gonna take the escape rope down there, so no safety car, which is gonna be great news for us because we just pitted. Now from lap 7 on to lap 8, all the other cars are in the pits, as you can see on the bottom left and top left. Now as we break into the first corner, lock up massively on the front left. I think that didn't cost us too much time. There is Carlos Sainz, and there comes Daniel Kvyat just right out of the pits. The undercut sadly didn't work, but we're just closer to Daniel Kvyat actually than before. And I've just noticed, as you can see on the bottom right, or could see on the bottom right, we have front wing damage, and I have no idea where that front wing damage comes from. You can see now on the bottom right, maybe with one of the contacts with Max Verstappen, because I actually felt the car handling a bit different. I checked and I saw the front wing damage, which is not going to be great because the car is obviously not yet the fastest. With the front wing damage and a lot of turns here, it's going to be hard. But we're gaining on Kvyat actually. We're going to have DRS and able overtake mode to try and gain on him. We're gaining, but not as massive as we hoped for. We're going to maybe try to dive down the inside. Oh, it's going to be a massive bump. We lock up on both the tires, push him wide. Oh, that was a bit of a clumsy move there. Not one of the best, I have to say. Well, we are up to P17 now, in front of Daniel Kvyat in this Vietnamese Grand Prix. And now lap 9, as you can see, the front wing damage now is getting actually quite big. And I've noticed that in the races, if you have this front wing damage, and as long as the race goes on, the damage will get even bigger. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. We're gonna try to stay in front of Daniel Kvyat. We're gonna cover the inside line so he doesn't think of making a move. We still have 6 laps to go in this Vietnamese Grand Prix. Try to get a good exit now on this back straight, but it's going to be hard to keep in front of Kvyat because obviously he's going to have the DRS on us. He has a Honda engine in the back of the car. We have the Ferrari engine, which is obviously the worst one, but he's gaining on us. We're going to try maybe to cover the inside, but no, he still finds a room and squeezes past. I'm going to try maybe to do something in the braking zone, lock up, but no. Our car just has not enough pace to stick with Daniel Kvyat, and he's up into P14. We're down to P15 in his Vietnamese Grand Prix. The car's handling worse with every lap, every turn. The front wing damage is getting bigger every time, and yeah, we'll see what we can do from here. So yeah, Daniel Kvyat passes us, and now the car behind us is Roman Grosjean, our own teammate. He popped out of nowhere, to be honest. Haven't noticed him the whole race, but here he is, right behind us now. I'm gonna try to stay in front of him, because obviously, as you can see, there's no way we can keep up with Daniel Kvyat. It's too far ahead of us. And yeah, I'm gonna try to stay in front of Grosjean, try to get this exit right. The exits for these 2 long straight is actually really hard to get it right, but I think we didn't make that of a bad job until now. So on this straight, we keep ahead of Roman Grosjean, but obviously Daniel Kvyat is now more than 1 second ahead of us, so we won't gonna get the DRS off him. So it's gonna be really hard to stay in front of Roman Grosjean. As we get a good exit actually, but the car is so slippery right now with the front wing damage, really hard to handle. I think it's gonna be easy for Grosjean to pass, but we're gonna try our best. But here he comes, he's gaining on us. He squeezes through the inside and just breezes past us into P15. We're down to P16, and we lock up on both tires and oof, get really close to him in the braking zone. I don't know, he braked really early there, or brake in the middle of the corner. There we are, P16. Yeah, now Kimi Räikkönen and Antonio Giovinazzi right behind us. Yeah, so now, lap 11, we actually have DRS of Roman Grosjean now, and we're gaining on him. But I think we're too far back to make a move as we lock up both tires with this front wing damage. It's so hard to judge where you can brake, but there's Kimi Räikkönen trying to make a move maybe on us, but no. We just stay in front of Kimi Räikkönen there, and Roman Grosjean has disappeared a bit into the distance, more than 1 second now ahead of us, so no DRS of him. As you can see now on the bottom right, the front wing damage is really big now. It's going to be hard. The car's handling really weird. Now onto lap 12, onto the long back straight. Kimi Räikkönen's having DRS on us and gaining on us. We're going to try and... no, he's not going to make a move. He actually touches us. But we gave him enough space there to work with. We gave him definitely enough space to work with. We're going to try to get a good exit. That wasn't the best of exit, and he's right behind us now, Kimi Räikkönen. He's probably going to make a move. We're going to squeeze him a bit too hard against the wall. He even made the move before the DRS, so he breezes past us. And now Antonio Giovinazzi is right behind us. We obviously don't have DRS because at the detection zone, Kimi Räikkönen is still ahead of us. And both Alfa Romeos have passed us in this Vietnamese Grand Prix, and we're down to P18. Second last car on the road. Nicholas Latifi is the car behind us on hard tires, more than 10 seconds behind us, so I don't think he's going to catch up. Since Russell retired, yeah. Second last car on the road. With this front wing damage, it's really hard to handle the car. I was feeling confident going into this race. But obviously, I don't know where we got the front wing damage from. But obviously, not great. The car's handling really weird, sliding around extremely much. So yeah, I think we have to settle for P18 sadly, but maybe Roman Grosjean can do something in front of us. So now through the final corners of this Vietnamese Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton won the Grand Prix. And as you can see on the bottom right, the front wing damage is really big now, as we come through the final corner to finish the second race of the season in P18.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Plenty of action here in Hanoi, a memorable race and an impressive victory. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So here they are, the result of the Vietnamese Grand Prix, second race of the season. Lewis Hamilton wins in front of Valtteri Bottas, and Alexander Albon gets his first podium in Formula 1, P4. And wow, the Ferraris have scored good points with Sebastian Vettel on P4 and P6 for Charles Leclerc, Ricardo P5. Max Verstappen still made it into the points, our teammate Romain Grosjean. In P15, we are on P17. Lewis Hamilton leads the championship now, and Daniel Ricciardo is in P3. Wow, good stuff from Daniel Ricciardo. As we now take a look at the constructors' standings, it's Mercedes in front of Red Bull and Renault. Ferrari and McLaren Racing Point, we drop down to P8. The fight for P3 is actually quite big. So that was it, the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Shocking race, really shocking. Not what I hoped for, not what I expected. But yeah, we're gonna go through the R&D tree and make some upgrades with the points we have, especially on the aerodynamic side and on the engine department or engine side. So yeah, we're gonna have 4 upgrades for the next race in the Netherlands. I hope the next race is gonna get better, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, even though the race was pretty shocking. So yeah, if you enjoyed, so please smash that like button and subscribe for more content of my F1 2020 career mode with Haas and just Formula 1 content. And then see you soon for the next Grand Prix in the Netherlands.